Hello, my friends. My lovely wife, Mrs. OM,
Hi.
has agreed to help me again do another do-it-yourself freezer meal, and we are going to do chicken parmesan. Let's go ahead and go through the ingredients. We start with 1/4 of a cup grated Parmesan cheese, 1/8 of a cup panko breadcrumbs, and then we have 1 tablespoon Italian seasoning, 1 tablespoon garlic powder. We stir our dry ingredients together. This is going to be our breading. And then we have 2 eggs, and these have been beaten, as you can see. Then you need chicken. Now these are pretty big pieces of chicken. They're what, about a pound each?
Yes.
And so then you're going to need to cut them. Oh, very nice. You want to cut them thin, so at least cut them in half. If they are super big, you might want to cut them to thirds. Can you do thirds? Depending on how thick the chicken is?
Depending on how thick they are, yes. These are just the right size for 2, but if they're thicker, you do want to go ahead and do 3s.
All right, then on a pan, because we're going to put this in the oven, you want to spray it or oil it, put some butter on. We use vegetable oil in a can. You are going to take your chicken over here. Right? Oh, yep, your breadcrumbs are out of frame. There we go. I guess it doesn't matter a whole lot. As you can see, get that in your egg wash. Get it nice and eggy, I guess is the word. Once you've done that,
Kind of let it drip off the excess. And then place into your breadcrumbs.
all right, you want to coat that very nicely, don't you?
Yes. Cover both sides really well with breadcrumbs. Kind of pat it down on there nice and evenly so that it sticks nice and well to all parts. So make sure every part of it has got a nice, good layer of breadcrumbs.
Once it is completely covered, and make sure it is covered very nicely as you can see here, go ahead and put it in your pan. The pan's off camera, that's okay. And then go ahead and do that with your remaining chicken. We didn't need quite all of this for the chicken. And so what's nice to do about this time is go ahead and let it sit for a couple of minutes, but then you can double dip. This is probably the only time that double dipping is acceptable, right, honey?
Yes.
I got a smile out of her. We've been married, what? Oh, I better know this one. 15 years?
Yes.
You're still laughing? I remembered. You should give me credit for remembering.
The hesitation.
There was no hesitation. Or at least there won't be once I edit that pause out. All right, now we have covered them all. And Mrs. OM likes to get the spray. Oh, we can't see the spray. Yeah, oh, there it is. A little bit of oil. That gives it a nice, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mrs. OM, but that gives it that nice crispiness when it's in the oven.
Yes.
Now we turn the oven on to 375. Oh, 380. 380 would be fine too if you want to do 380. Press start. And so while that is going though, we have on the pot on the right for water, we're going to do some noodles, and then on the left is going to be our sauce. Now that we have the chicken already, the water's boiling, the oven is preheating. I probably should have done that earlier. What you're going to need is noodles, your choice. We're using the Great Value small shells, and then a choice of sauce. We are using the Great Value marinara. All right, the chicken is ready to go in the oven, and so we put it in the oven at 375. Cook it for 10 minutes, flip it over, and then cook it for
Another 10 minutes or until the chicken is done.
You want cooked chicken. You don't want to have salmonella poisoning. All right, a note about the pasta. This particular one takes 7 to 8 minutes. So for the part we're going to have for dinner, we're going to do half dinner and half TV dinners. You're going to cook it for the full 7 to 8 minutes. However, when you do it into the freezer meal part, you only want to cook it partially. So we're going to dial this back about 4 minutes. So since this only takes about 8 minutes, we're only going to boil this for about 4 minutes. Because when you put it in the microwave, it cooks in the marinara sauce, and you don't want overcooked noodles. This has been in the oven for 10 minutes, so Mrs. OM is going to flip them over. See that? Starting to get nice and crispy through here. That one turned out really well so far. Oh, and look at this one. This turned out very nicely. All right, so it goes back in the oven for 10 minutes, and then at the 10 minutes, check it to make sure it's cooked all the way through. This is what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. You can notice we've got some nice crispiness here. All right, now we've put the noodles on. Oh, and I want you to check this out. Look at this delicious chicken parmesan. Get some noodles on there. I like the noodles off to the side here. I'm weird. Then you can get a little sauce there on your chicken. So this makes a great dinner and a TV dinner. We've had our dinner, now we're going to do that. I have my marinara sauce. So I'm just going to put just a smidge on the bottom there. Mrs. OM. Now remember, these noodles we only cooked for about 4 minutes because you want to still have about 4 minutes or so when you are doing the microwave. Then we're gonna be a little generous with the sauce here. Otherwise, if you don't get enough sauce, the noodles kind of together. So yeah, then we have this chicken. This is a big piece of chicken, so Mrs. OM is going to cut it in half. I've seen one advice is what you do is after you've kind of cooked the noodles, you put them on a cookie sheet and freeze them so they're separated. I've tried that. It works. It takes forever though, so we just do it this way. And then, when you're putting this on, you're going to sit there and say, oh man, you're putting on way too much sauce. Trust me, when you microwave it, it thickens up quite a bit. Because there's no way you'd put that much sauce in, right? Right, Mrs. OM?
Yes.
When you're doing it for dinner?
You need the pasta will absorb a lot of the moisture.
It will.
So you need to have more sauce than normal.
And a lot of meals do like mashed potatoes or corn. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to try green beans in mine. Green beans. Woo. Now let's see if I can open it. Oh, it goes everywhere. See, open the bag and it went everywhere. Now make sure they're frozen. Oh. Looks like we got a stem or something. I don't know. We'll put that off to the side. Oh, just bad. It's still good. All right. Now, I've tried using canned green beans. Those just become a mush, and they're rather disgusting, actually. I think that looks like a good amount. Then we just pop a couple of lids on. I mentioned this in my other video, but I got these containers on sale at Walmart for about 50 cents a container. But I saw you can get them at Amazon for about $1 a container, and they're reusable, but you want to make sure you seal them nice, tight. Then you write what it is and the date. These are good for probably 3 or 4 months, though I don't think they last that long in my freezer. All right, now we have labeled it. We're just going to put it in the freezer. And I have found that a nice way to cook this is to put this in a microwave, cook on full power for about 4 minutes, give or take, depending on your microwave, 30 seconds on either end. Give the noodles a good stir, give the green beans a good stir, and then cook for another 3 to 4 minutes, and it is delicious. Well, if you like this, give a comment down here if there's any TV dinners you want to see us make or any recipes you want us to try. I can't promise anything, but we will try. And if you like this recipe, there's another recipe right here. And here's a playlist of some of my other stuff. Have a good one. Bye.